Learning from the corridor. The corridor is not only a place for communicating, learning, demonstrative movement, but also for celebrating some theses or even have a small market for students to sell or buy artworks or books. I also remember some illegal and anti-politics performance which act there. Hence, this is so much like a class that it's the class itself. Also, by that, you can see other students from various majors. You can act in a theater in the afternoon or have a lunch with the architect while you are a sculpture student in the morning. I remember one of our classmates works with the music department, and his thesis is more like a cellist performance than a sculpture exhibition. Make it more profound. Some students start their education as urban designers, while in the end she becomes a perfect scenes designer at the theater department, which happened when I was there. The architectural design of the complex. The complex of fine art is composed of 8 building blocks, which generally consist of rectangular cubes, volume, or a combination of them. These buildings are located around or between the courtyards. These buildings are also in contact with each other by a covered walkway extending along the longitudinal axis of the university. Due to the slope of the land, there are some level differences between the building, which could design some stairs in the communication corridor. In addition to providing access, its uniformity and length have also been reduced. The 3-floor building on the north side include the architectural judgmental hall, exhibition salon, the dining room of a student and professor, the office of the faculty member, and some other administrative offices. Amphitheater classrooms of the theoretical courses, a warehouse, the office of the head of the campus, and administrative affairs are located in the central building, adjacent to the main courtyard on the east side of the campus. In the southeast, there is a two-floor library, which also include the theater groups. The sculpture workshop are located in the north. On the south side, a 4-floor building has been allocated to the Department of Industrial Design and the relevant workshops. The architectural atelier are located on the west side in the 3-volume of the rectangular cube with 2 floors on the pivot. For me, the whole university is more like a garden. We call it charbagh. There is a rule in the traditional garden of Persian, which if you have more than 4 or more kind of fruit in the garden, the taste of fruit is more delicious, and while pollination occurs, they unpredictably contribute with each other. They are nourishing from a multivariety situation that does not change their basic but improve them. The garden itself is also shaped by 2 main corridors and an intersection. In that, the gardener did not change the main characteristic of the product, but made it more exotic and desirable. Sayark as a corridor itself, with classes without walls and the international atmosphere, might be another situation for learning. Tasting the Argentinian tea feels like not only experiencing Ley, but somewhere like Rosario. The university itself could not be only about faculty, but also an opportunity to be with some smart people who become future masters. It seems like a group of dancers in which each of them should play the best part of themselves, while the whole scene become perfect by their improvement. Shiraz Art and Culture Festivals is another example, which Iranian Queen Farhadiba planned that program to make a place for both foreigner and the locals to achieve mutual understanding of life, culture, or the mind of the other ones. Also for collaboration of artists. Her education in architecture might have played a role, not as the architecture for a building, but as an architect of the cultural system of a country. She made the future. I suppose forget how the education system could have a profound effect on the human mind when it comes to the other nations and dig into the other cultures, focusing on a discipline or a specific culture make or our mind more fascist than educated. Meanwhile, for do not imagine architecture as the most sophisticated major in the universe. Understanding art, psychology, or literacy could help. Honeymoon place. Foucault in Of the Other Space, Utopias and Heterotopia explain heterotopia as a place between the actual world and the utopia. Maybe we could consider the school days such this place a sophisticated cultural utopia which exists in real world. He also mentioned Persian garden carpet as an example, but in other way. We could make school days a complete experience. They could make the most of the potential of this 5 years duration, modify themselves as a place between where architecture occurred and a place to redefine it. This duration could be a short period in a comparison to whole life between the time before being engaged with architecture and the actual moment of the becoming an architect. The education machine puts value on graduate as an architect, while I suppose some ordinary architects might become an extraordinary object designer or more different work with a software company to produce a different atmosphere, allowing the students to become anything and finding themselves not only could promote individualism but also accelerate productivity for civilization. I put part of Foucault's, I mean, um, uh, lecture here and to more understanding of the terms of heterotopia. If you need, you can read. In SciArc, students more often try to have an artistic approach to architecture, but in my point of view, they are just too busy with a thin layer of aesthetic. Now, the concept of profound content that brings about thoughts of architecture as a part of humanities or liberal art. The artworks suffer from lack of scenario, plot, or character, just represent magnificent picture, super cool for Instagram. To make it more real and strong, education could be more involved with theater, psychology, or sociology, plans based on how to improve life to being part of the real world might reduce the self-oriented tendency, for instance, in terms of equality, open kitchens redefined the character of mother slash from a more engaged with life. So architecture could have more than been effective. I see corridor or education place not only as a place for commuting or taking bachelor degree, but also as a place, as an opportunity to meet new ideas, people, or cultures. As you might see, this show that how I divided this 5th year to the two theoretical and two practical. In the first year, students are more engaged with the literacy. They can choose one of this one and then laws, and then understand which kind of laws they should or they need to know maybe the executive or maybe the legislative. And then in the second year, they are more engaged in practical, and they choose one of this one from the visual art, maybe painting, and then go from that to the second term of the second year, and again choose from the music, writing, plot, and performance dependent. In the third year, they they return to the theoretical classes, which is content combined of psychology and sociology. I divided in three categories again for behavioral, cognitive, or personality, and then also three different type of sociology. In fourth year, they understand they again choose another one, kind of 3D making, and also another kind of plans and section, which it could be industrial design or urban design. They are just different from the scale maybe. And then in the fifth year, each person could understand which is actually personal interest, so work on it. In the beginning of each semester, there is a lottery that each student could choose their preferences. Let's see what happens if somebody takes sculpture in the seventh semester. It's divided into two sections, one technical, two theoretically, to sum up the practical year based on the studio, but theoretical year focus more on the theory classes. It also might assist to the whole education as a more balance between the studio and the theoretical subjects.